So I just saw King Richard, which is directed by the man behind Monsters and Men in the first 3 episodes of series 3 of Netflix's TV show Top Boy. And this film is a real-life biopic of Richard Williams, played by Will Smith, who trains his daughters, Serena and Venus, to become the greatest tennis ball players that they are today. But it's hard because they're in the streets of Compton, where there's a lot of racism and gentrification at the time. It's something that you'd expect from a mostly black film. Now, I was really looking forward to this movie when it was announced. I think that in a world where we're mostly dominated with superhero movies, space operas, fantasy type of films, it's kind of rare to get a sports movie. So going into King Richard, I was excited to see a movie that was very different to modern day Hollywood. And while a lot of people are mostly going to see Ghostbusters Afterlife this weekend, I'd highly recommend that if you're not going to see that film, go and see King Richard, because this is a really good film. Even though it has a few problems, there's actually a lot to like about it. Namely Will Smith, who gave an excellent performance. I've really wanted to see him give a great dramatic performance. He's done a lot of great action roles, but I think that he needs to do some more dramatic performances, because here in King Richard, not only does he give one of his strongest performances since Pursuit of Happiness, but I also think that he's given one of the best performances of the year. I think he's totally worthy of an Oscar nomination, along with several other awards. And if he doesn't get nominated or if he doesn't win, I'd honestly be disappointed. The two girls who play Serena and Venus Williams are also very likable. They often worked really well when they were with Will Smith, but when they were just together, they kind of reminded me of my sisters, and that's a very good thing, because if you watch this with a family, you'll be able to relate to some of the family themes in this movie. As for the other acting, there were these gangsters in the movie that actually did beat up Will Smith. I'm not considering this as a spoiler, but I'm sorry I had to spoil it. It was just one of my favorite scenes where you actually felt for Will Smith. So King Richard, they got the performances down really well, because this was a very well acted movie. It's also shot really beautifully. Compared to other movies like Straight Outta Compton, this movie actually has that cinematography that expresses that this is a feel-good movie that is full of a lot of hope and a few hard times. But I think that they got the camera work and cinematography down really well. However, I do think it's a bit too bright, which kind of makes the movie look like it was set in 2021 or 2020, something like that. I know that this movie was shot around 2019 and 2020 because of COVID, but I wish that they kind of made it look a bit like the time period. I don't know what time setting the film is, but whether the film is set in the 80s or the 90s, I think they could have added a little bit of detail when editing to make you feel like you're in that period. As for the rest of the movie, I really like the writing. It did have a great message about how parents really want the best for you, and it also shows a positive side of African Americans. Yes, I know I'm a British man, but I do like how Hollywood represents African Americans, especially in King Richard. But the most powerful theme in this movie is fatherhood. I think that Hollywood are constantly showing father and son films, but I think it's time we get father and daughter films. We barely get any of those nowadays. Rather than making Will Smith as your typical father, he does have some sternness, but he's also a very likable father, which is something that I can relate to. Despite the fact that he's always making his children play tennis, it's clear that he only wants the best for them. He wants to see them be as successful as they are today. And that was another thing I liked about this movie. As for issues, I don't really have many. However, I will say that the movie is very long. It's about 2 hours and 24 minutes. And I actually did kind of feel that. I think it's because I never really watched it with my family. I think that if I'm going to watch this movie again, it's actually going to be around Christmas. I'll watch it with my family. I think they're going to enjoy it because we all like Will Smith in this house. So maybe the pacing may not be as bad. But the pacing in this movie, I actually felt it, and it was really slow. Gearing over to the more positive side of this film, I really did like that song by Beyonce. It was very heartfelt. It played during the end credits, and the end credits were really good. I think that they did this movie as well as they could, despite being shot around COVID. So overall, I really enjoyed King Richard. It might be one of my favorite movies of this year. I don't know if it'll be number one, but it could be number one, I don't know where I'll rank on my best of year list. I also don't know what rating I'm going to give it. When I first saw the movie, in the first 3 minutes, I was thinking maybe a 9. But then as the movie went on, maybe an 8. But I don't know. I'm going to give King Richard 9 out of 10 for now. As I said, I'm going to see the movie again at Christmas, but for now, that's my rating. It could stay the same, but I'm just happy that Will Smith has starred in a great dramatic film. If he returns to action and comedy, I'm fine with it, but I'm just glad that he still can act in dramatic roles. Overall, King Richard showcases extraordinary black talent and inspiring storytelling, reflecting the brilliance of the diversity in Hollywood. So yeah, go and see King Richard. It's a very feel-good movie. I know most of you will be seeing Ghostbusters this weekend, but I highly recommend King Richard if you're not going to see it. I think it's going to please tennis fans, sports fans, fans of Will Smith. It's probably going to please everyone. It's not getting much attention. So I should say that when you're done watching Ghostbusters Afterlife, go and support King Richard. It's not only a movie that will just come and go, but in my opinion, it's definitely one of the strongest movies of the year. So guys, thanks a lot for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. And if you do see the film, I'm interested in hearing what you thought about it. Or Will Smith in general. Do you like him as an actor? What's your favourite film starring him? Be sure to let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, guys. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I got a lot of videos coming, including my continuing series of Spider-Man reviews leading up to No Way Home, a video regarding No Way Home, a possible gameplay of Asphalt 9, and a few other things coming in December. Look forward to that. Peace.